Hello everyone, and now welcome to a game. This game promises to be a good one. Yumiko versus Gens, taking place here on Terranistan. I believe this was just your standard ladder game here on W3 Champions, as we already see Yumiko militia running out across the map. Alright, even though he is militia running, he's a little bit too slow for me in the first 2 minutes of this game. So let's see what is gonna go here. Is Yumiko really... what is he doing? Alright, so there's a peasant out along the field doing a quick scout, has done a quick run around already, and now that peasant is back. Meanwhile, Yumiko, Altar of Kings, Barracks, alright, all of that just for a scout farm on the far side of the map. That's not typical at all. It is a little bit delayed, as we are looking at Wisp now trying to come across and heal up this Ancient of War. There are more militia now coming their way over as well. Are we going to see an Arcane Tower rush? There's not that much lumber. No, we're going to see Dark Ranger. Wait, what? Okay, so Dark Ranger rush first against Gens here. We're going to see some damage now already go down. Demon Hunter has not gotten mana burn or anything else, and this is Siphon life first. So interesting call. So what are we going to see here? There's a little bit of damage. There's going to be some pressure being placed down already, as Yumiko coming in with the tower attempt here at the 2-minute 45-second mark of this game. All right, going to go ahead and have a little bit of an engagement there. Both sides exchanging blows. Arcane Tower, is it going to upgrade? It looks like it is going to upgrade here in just a moment. There's a Siphon life, and well, Siphon life versus Demon Hunter mana burn. That's actually kind of funny, like a little bit of damage being done, but at the same time, well, there's a quick detonation again, a little bit more mana lost as we are looking at this Arcane Tower nearing completion. There is also a Hunter's Hall being built off to the side here. The archers should be trying to pelt down the Scout Tower while it has light armor, but there is already one peasant nearby. We're going to see another detonation. No one has any experience on the board just quite yet, as damage is still getting racked up here. All right, Demon Hunter trying to go after here. I believe these guys just are on auto repair, just standing by, ready to go. Footmen do not have defend. They are just trying to lob damage, and the Moonwells are not, well, are just now getting in some of that moon juice, which is incredibly important, as it is going to be offering some heals. Ancient of War down across here. Huntress is now in production, as we are getting an Ancient Protector as well. Moonwell suffering quite a bit of damage. Are we going to see arcane damage? Yes, we are. Arcane damage onto the Demon Hunter. Demon Hunter could end up losing quite a bit of precious mana. There's another mana burn again, as one Moonwell is going to get taken down. One Moonwell down. Units trying to retreat back once more, as we are now getting up a scout farm on the far side of the map as well, perhaps to try to train up a couple more footmen. Huntress is here as well. Are we going to see some poke damage onto that Huntress, as we are getting up a guard tower behind this? So guard tower, Arcane Tower, Yumiko really with the heavy pressure here, and now pushing back this Demon Hunter. An old school towering attempt by Yumiko over Gens here as a second. Well, it looked like a tower was going to be tried to place down, but no, there are dual Ancient Protectors already in position. All right, dual Ancient Protectors already in position. The footmen need to go after that Ancient Protector off to the north. There is another Ancient Protector. This Ancient Protector already done off on the side, so hiding towers, both sides hiding towers already, as this Scout Tower or Ancient Protector now trying to walk its way back in. Demon Hunter, well, getting in a little bit more moon juice as well. Dark Ranger trying to make its way back off to the north. We're going to see some repairs necessary to try and fight back against the, well, oncoming slow walk of these treants here, as the Dark Ranger now tries to fall back again. All right, going after whoever is uprooted. That is a smart call, trying to maximize damage, as we are going into another Ancient Protector off to the side. So triple towers already. Another guard tower waiting to get upgraded here. So the Hunter's Hall being built off on the back, incredibly important, as we need to find a way to perhaps heal up all of these peasants. What's happening back at home? Yumiko still training up more peasants as well, getting defend on those footmen, as the, well, Scout Tower nearing completion on the upgrade. There's a little bit of Siphon life, going to be able to regenerate some additional hit points here, as both sides are still fighting their way through, trying to repair as best as they can. The farms are acting as scout farms to be able to see further into the night here, but triple tower versus triple tower, and well, the peasants are not going to be able to easily keep up with this here. All right. Inbound now, triple towers. We're looking at damage really racking up. Are we going to see some repairs here on this particular guard tower? We are, as the Demon Hunter now trying to make its way back over. All right, one Ancient Protector about to get taken down. However, there are still 2 more to go, and 1 tower is about to get taken down. 1 more final hit. That's going to get taken down there. There's a little bit more repairs. There's triple tower. Demon Hunter falls at level 1 as the damage now racking up here. All right, a lot of focus onto this guard tower here. Guard tower going to go ahead and try and focus down onto some of those Huntresses instead. Footmen are going after the Ancient Protectors. Lots of repairs underway. Footmen do have defend as 1 guard tower falls as well. All right, who is going to come out on top first? Dark Ranger nearing level 2, trying to survive here. There's level 2 now on the Dark Ranger. Remember, Demon Hunter is still getting resurrected, not getting any of the experience here as we see a siphon life. Dark Ranger siphoning the life out of that Huntress. Huntress shadow melding to break the connection as quad or quintuple wisps trying to repair the Ancient Protector and keep him alive. All right, still seeing a lot of damage here. Dark Ranger trying to push back once more. Footman with defend, able to reflect back a lot of that damage. There was some repairs, but no Arcane Vault here to try and regenerate the hit points of all of these units. Footman now falling back here. We're seeing a little bit of trailing damage. Dark Ranger could be in a little bit of trouble. We need to see mass repair onto this Arcane Vault. You see all of these low hit point units. I believe that was a Staff of Teleportation. Demon Hunter gonna pick up an Invul Potion from the backside here. Another guard tower trying to be placed down. And now they're just going to try and run by here. Oh, Invul Potion breaking the connection. Footman now trying to retreat here. And now there's just a lot of units just causing a bit of traffic. Dark Ranger could be in a lot of trouble. Dark Ranger trying to finish things off. Down to 81 hit points. Down to 76. This could be very bad news for the Dark Ranger. Down to 44. Is it just going to end up falling? And it looks like it will be doing exactly that. Demon Hunter gets up to level 2. Dark Ranger falls at level 2. We are not teching the tier 2. Dark Ranger Resurrection is going to be quite a ways away, and the Arcane Vault is up, but there is no hero to use the items from the shop. Right, 29 supply versus 25. Arcane Tower still, well, doing its thing here. Footman trying to reflect back damage. And this Dark Ranger gonna get resurrected at the tavern and be brought back in immediately. All right, this is more in order to get a scroll of regeneration for all of these low hit point footmen and some of these peasants as well. Are we going to see a dark? Oh, selling the scroll of Town Portal. Did we see a dark? Did we see no clarity potion? Just a lot of repairs across the board as we are getting up. Is that another Ancient Protector? Yes, a third Ancient Protector trying to get added on. We do not have Masonry upgrade. Yumiko still mining pretty normally back at home here as we are trying to get up another guard tower here. There's that Siphon life and still more regeneration on this Dark Ranger as the Wisp, or perhaps will need to take damage. No real damage on any of the other Wisp here as the Footman now looking to fall back. That guard tower nearing completion. Demon Hunter getting pushed away off to the far side. Low hit point Footman camping by that Arcane Vault. So much piercing damage and all of it being reflected back fairly easily. All right, guard tower providing a little bit more cover again, putting damage onto the Altar of Elders. This furthest one in the back here. This low hit point peasant gonna try and fall back. More low hit point footmen. Are they gonna fall back? There goes the detonation. Mana lost on that Dark Ranger. And still more units getting trained up. 40 supply compared to 30 as the Wisps are trying to figure out who can actually repair as we're looking about the death of one of these Ancient Protectors. All right, Footmen trying to make their way back over. Rotating the crops, so to speak, or rotating the healing as the Demon Hunter down to 5 hit points. Demon Hunter dies. Demon Hunter tried to make his way in, ends up falling down again. Does fall at level 2, but doesn't give any experience as it died at the hands of a tower. All right, Dark Ranger purposely pushing himself in here. Well, yeah, game of repair. Who can repair longer? Footmen are trying to go after these Wisps. It looks as though one Wisp does get taken down. Ancient Protector holding steady. Nope, gonna fall down fall down once more. All right, guard towers continuing to put in pressure here. Dark Ranger still healing, does have Clarity Potion and Scroll of Regeneration. Demon Hunter, is it going to try to get resurrected at the altar? It does not look like it. There's a Siphon life from the, into a Huntress as it backs up again. The Dark Ranger acting as a bit of a tank with that Siphon life. So that's what it's doing there. It's trying to absorb the damage and allowing the Footmen to just continuing to attack here. More Footmen now making their way over. Are they going to try and dive in here? That's going to be a tough spot. That Huntress is going to get taken down. And another guard, Well, another bit of pressure there. Finally, this last Ancient Protector is going to fall. Glaivethrowers are finally online now. Not quite sure why they weren't brought in earlier. It almost feels like Gens perhaps forgot about them as the Demon Hunter and Huntress, all of these units trying to make their way back through. All right, Dark Ranger going to try to buy. There's a Scroll of Healing. There's an Invul Potion as well. Perhaps going to try to go for a Scroll of Regeneration. This Glaivethrower in the backfield. And, well, what's going to happen here? All right, are we going to see a Scroll of Regeneration? No, we're going to see a Scroll of Healing used. And now perhaps dive in on this Glaivethrower. Glaivethrower trying to retreat back here. Guard towers are up and operational, trying to just force him to retreat all the way back home inside, as this Glaivethrower needs to find ways to put in pressure and damage. Footmen, are we going to see a Siphon Life? Yeah, Demon Hunter going to be forced to try and retreat back. Ancient Protector trying to get up and operational again. One Ancient Protector. There's another mana burn. Are we going to see some more Siphon Life? No, not enough mana for a Siphon Life there, as the Footmen perhaps going to try to put pressure onto some of these units. Ancient Protector about to get cancelled or taken down. The Arcane Vault was lost, though. Okay, so Arcane Vault lost, and now it looks like this Arcane Vault could end up being lost as well. The Demon Hunter able to deal maximum damage here, as the, well, Yumiko losing a very important building to try and keep this pressure going. There's another mana burn again. Siphon Life, not quite enough. The Glaivethrowers under the protection of an Ancient Protector from the back here along the other side of the trees. And now this is a situation where we really need to see that Scroll of Regeneration go strong. Look at all of these low hit point Footmen again. A guard tower there. Demon Hunter. Well, if all of these Footmen are lost, there's a little bit of drain life once more. And there you have it. Scroll of Regeneration going to be used. Some of the Footmen wasn't close enough. And that could be a problem once more as the Dark Ranger. Where'd the Dark Ranger go? Well, Dark Ranger back off to the north here. Needs to perhaps use another set of that Scroll of Regeneration as the Glaivethrower was able to disrupt once more. Dark Ranger does have an Invul Potion. You can see one Footman perhaps not getting close enough again. Didn't get the heal, or a couple of them didn't get the heal. There is aggroing those creeps. There is an ensnare, and that's going to be some damage. Well, trying to creep right next to your opponent's base while you have towers there. Once more, Forest Troll, Shadow Priest. That's going to get taken down again. This is not live. Sasquatch going to get pushed back here once more. Forest Troll Trapper going to get taken down. Dark Ranger trying to get up to level 3. If it does get up to level 3, level 2, excuse me, Siphon Life could be a very big deal here. Demon Hunter trying to make its way back around. Footmen throwing down Defend so that they can easily escape. There's a large number of lesser dark minions working together here. What's going to happen as the Demon Hunter does want to get in some of that damage, is going to get caught in a tough spot. There's another detonation. Look at all those low hit point Footmen, and this is not your typical tower attempt. You do not normally see so many low hit point units being carefully microed and getting so much value simply out of a Scroll of Regeneration. Think about it this way. One Footman costs, well, one Footman costs what, 125? Oh, Arcane Vault gone. Arcane Vault gone. Doesn't matter that if you saved all of those low hit point Footmen unless you have a way of healing them. Needs to buy a Scroll of Healing over here from the shop instead. And now going to push its way back over. All right, Arcane Vault is gone here. That is going to be a big deal. Perhaps now trying to go after this Hunter's Hall, stop the production of Ancient Protectors, and stop the production of, stop the production of Huntresses and those Glaivethrowers, as the Demon Hunter now goes after and going to be doing a little bit of clearing as well. Demon Hunter still sitting at level 2. Dark Ranger trying to go after these additional Glaivethrowers. It looks as though this Hunter's Hall is going to get taken down pretty easily. And now, are we going to perhaps try and build up anything else? Tech to tier 2 is done. We are getting up a workshop and an Arcane Sanctum. No secondary, no, Archmage as the secondary hero. This is 15 minutes into this game. Dark Ranger still has, well, a Scroll of Healing to use here and should use it across all of these units. That is still a very wide army here to try and stay alive. There's some repairs. Well, what would be funny is if the Arcane Sanctum got Arcane Sentry first to reveal all of these units once more. All right, are we going to see? Oh, there's a little bit of damage. There's a mana burn to Siphon Life, and it is level 2 Siphon Life, so the Dark Ranger was able to absorb quite a bit of that damage. Now trying to retreat back again, and then really needs to heal up. Not quite sure what he is waiting for in this spot as the Archmage shows up and perhaps going to drop some water elementals. All right, so Archmage shows up to the party, going to drop some water elementals. There's Footman with defend. We do see some repairs here, but the Glaivethrowers are going to take down the farm. Remember, the farms do have fortified armor compared to these towers, so the farms actually take additional damage. Yumiko, in a tough spot, perhaps should take down one of his own peasants, currently in low upkeep and suffering a major setback in terms of gold per second. All right, 51 over 56. A couple of wisps could get cleaned up all around the map. What are these guard towers going to do? They're going to end up falling here. And after a very strong initial tower attempt, it looks like it is going to be coming to an end as the Huntress now looks to back away. All right, clearing out some more of these creep camps in the center portion of the map. You can see a new Hunter's Hall was placed down there. These peasants slowly making their way back. Perhaps going to be able to, well, harvest up a bunch of lumber and then make a move, perhaps trying to set up an expansion somewhere else. Dark Ranger sitting at level 3. Archmage sitting at level 1. Rifleman now joining in on the battle. Glove of Haste, who is it going to be picked up by? Looks like the Archmage wants to throw those fireballs just a little bit faster. Huntress making their way down here. Not going to be able to easily get through. There is one guard tower in this position here, and a Rifleman could actually go after the Huntress. There is Priest joining in on the battle, and also a Sorceress. Archmage looking to still continue to clear out these creep camps. Dark minions are here. There's that lightning shield. Dark Ranger purposely backing himself away. And, well, the army of Yumiko looking very strong right now, as there is, well, a little bit of Siphon life. There's that mana burn, and the Dark Ranger's like, okay, I'll take some of your life, and you take some of my mana, and at the end, I'll actually have more hit points than you do. How that particular exchange went. Archmage now sitting at level 2 does have Brilliance Aura, or I would assume has Brilliance Aura. Yep, right there. As we are looking at a Panda now online. Panda, Pendant of Energy, Breath of Fire, can blow over many of these footmen fairly fast. Dark Ranger looking to get to level 4. A big item, or a decent item, is going to be dropped there. Meanwhile, what is the Panda and the Demon Hunter going to do? Actually help clear out this expansion location and deny a bit of that experience. All right, so Dark Ranger needs a little bit more. Does pick up True Shot Aura, though. That is going to be a nice 7% damage increase for all of these ranged units, which there are a lot of. Yep, there is a mortar team there. Saw a little bit of splash for a second, trying to take down these Renegade Wizards. Mortar team going to be a big part of this next push, as we see Lightning Shield, well, forcing the Sorceress to back away. Dark Ranger does get to level 4. 63 supply compared to 46. We are looking at an expo by Gens here to take the center expansion here on Tyrannistan 2.0. Plenty of Glaivethrowers already, or excuse me, Ancient Protectors already down. And do we have, yeah, and we also have Nature's Blessing for the higher armor and faster movement speed. All right, guard tower. Oh, priest. That's going to be a one dead priest here. There's a big mana burn. It's going to try to retreat in between all of these locations, and a little bit of damage going to be done. There's a Breath of Fire. Scroll of Town Portal inbound now. Is it going to perhaps try and block these units in? And the Demon Hunters realized that it was a trap to try and escape, so instead just went further in. And in doing so was able to take down a couple of these peasants before using a Scroll of Town Portal and heading back out. I don't know. Well, yeah, this Bandit Lord creep camp was not cleared out in time. Archmage did get to level 3, going for level 2 Brilliance Aura. Dark Ranger still sitting at level 4. And, well, now not having a Scroll of Town Portal. Demon Hunter, did he replace his? No, he did not. The overlays do not update nearly as quickly, unless I think maybe if you pay for the Pro, or just because the amount of turnaround that time that you constantly need to update it live. So I don't know. I guess you could host it in your own. Sorry, programming work, thinking how that would all update and get it live, as opposed to maybe like a snapshot update every 10-15 seconds. All right, Mortar Team's going to be lobbing up some of that damage. Tree of Life going to get taken down really fast. These two Mortar Teams in the back really helping out with that damage, obviously. And with that now, these Ancient Protectors are going to fall. Base race, there are dual guard towers here. Scroll of Town Portal now back. Goblin Zeppelin going to pick up some of those units. And you can see the Hippogriff trying to get away. There is a slow cast on the Demon Hunter. Demon Hunter waiting for a Dryad to come back and apply that Abolish Magic and be able to head back. We are not going to Tier 3. Workshop is not training up any of... well, did train up a Flying Machine, but does not spot this Hippogriff off on the north yet. So Jens is keeping eyes on Yumiko's base. Main gold mines have been mined out. We're 21 minutes into this game already, and the main gold mines are lost. It feels weird. It feels like only 5 minutes ago the tower attempt was done, and now we're in this weird limbo where what you see is what you get with your army, and Yumiko obviously having the larger army at 65 supply compared to 49. A little bit of gold discrepancy there. You can see the Bandit Lord. Well, side note, the Bandit Lord, that invulnerability, that Divine Shield, normally is only used just once, but because, Bandit Lord got to use it twice since there was the stopping of the creeping earlier. All right, there's a mana burn, the Staff of Teleportation, a little bit of departing damage onto that Demon Hunter as he heads back out. Bandit Lord gonna get taken down, and that will give level 3 to the Brewmaster and picks up a Wand of the Wind. All right, 49 supply compared to 67. More, well, lumber harvesting. I don't even see long distance mining coming in from Yumiko. Yumiko having a handful of peasants now, and we're going after this Ancient of War. Tree of Ages tried to uproot and move to that center expansion location, but that quickly is going to fall flat since the Mortar Teams are already here ready to try and stop it. What is this? Ancient of War sitting at 55 hit points. Footman trying to catch up to the Tree of Ages, saying, you know what, if I can get in front of this Tree of Ages and surround him, then that is going to be a major loss there. Jen's going to lose his Tree of Ages now. And as, well, eyes on the prize. Yumiko, meanwhile, trying to repair here. We see Glaivethrower is pushing pressure onto the keep here, and this may turn into a base race attempt as Scroll of Town Portal now inbound back. That one, well, Tree of Ages is now gone. Scroll of Town Portal, a useless item for the Demon Hunter since he has nothing to TP to.
The player's forces are under attack.
All right, little bit of a weird spot to be in. Spending, you know, that 350 gold to replace that Scroll of Town Portal as a get out of jail free card, only to now see, wait, I need to sell that Scroll of Town Portal so I can build up a new Tree of Life and then perhaps set up get out of jail free card here. However, it looks as though I thought for a moment the Panda was going to try and clear out this red creep camp on the bottom left. That would have been a little bit difficult coming. Seen as how, well, how thin his current army is. We do see some repairs. Glaivethrowers, well, going to start knocking on the door and just slowly start pushing through here, hitting the barracks, perhaps going to hit some of the farms as well, as the army making its way back. Demon Hunter going after this creep camp here. Demon Hunter does have a wand of mana stealing. Going to try and finish things off. That doesn't look good, though. I don't believe he can really do it by himself. There's a mana burn. Okay, so taking down two of the creeps that had mana, and now going after the two rogues. Does have evasion, so, and a decent armor, so it may work out well, but he doesn't have rejuvenation. And now we're looking at the Moonwells and their mana being the majority, well, the Moonwells and their mana as the way of being able to heal back. Do we have Arcane Sentry? No, I don't know. Was that a reveal from a laboratory? It looks like the Goblin Laboratory did a reveal right there as the Goblin Shredder now running back around the other side.
Town is under siege.
All right, 25 minutes into this game. Still no clear victor. We're going to see the Militia being called here. Flying Machines pulling back. Staff of Teleportation inbound. And Demon Hunter going to show up. No immolation, but still putting in the pressure here. Archmage, Dark Ranger, lobbing attacks, ready to push back the Goblin Shredder. as the trailing units in the far back unable to keep up with the highly mobile Night Elf army and that Goblin Zeppelin. Demon Hunter, Panda running around quickly. Are we going to get some repairs? Some of these peasants perhaps need to do some long distance mining back and forth. Little bit of gold going to be helpful, at least for repairs. And well, long distance mining still a possibility.
A player's forces are under attack.
Level 3, there's Lightning Shield, Dark Ranger trying to go after some of these other units here. The Enforcer gonna get taken down, followed by that Renegade Wizard. Down it goes. Archmage trying to get to level 4. Dark Ranger still a little bit shy, as we see a Pendant of Energy dropped there. That's going to be picked up by the Dark Ranger. Now with 430 mana, should be able to siphon life for a very long time, forcing the Demon Hunter to perhaps try and mana burn her down. Glaivethrowers making sure to take down the keep here. We're going to perhaps see a couple of these guard towers get focused down next, and this is turning into a base race scenario. All right, we are no longer, well, no more. There is mining up here, or potential mining by gens off to the top right hand side of the map. There's that Tree of Life. Meanwhile, Yumiko is going to be revealed as we're looking at big damage here. Ancient of Lores are trying to move across the battlefield. A lot of damage. Peasants are making their way in, and we are still seeing a big damage here. All right, Ancient of Lore, one down. Another one could get taken down as well. It looks like it is going to be a quick death for that Ancient of Lore. Couldn't scurry away fast enough. There goes another Hunter's Hall, and now Yumiko trying to go after this Kobold creep camp, and well, perhaps get to level 4 on this Archmage for level 2 Brilliant Aura, which will help out all of these priests as well. Archmage quickly sells some items, and now we're going to see this particular Ancient of War finally taken down with this Ancient of War gone. And now selling up some items, Yumiko should be able to speed build a town hall here and perhaps try and rebuild some of that lost infrastructure already. All right, no, is he going to try and rebuild it here? No, that is not going to be the case. He's just on the move, and now perhaps going to try and go after here. Jens realizes, wait, inbound, a little bit of Wisp are going to be mining here and trying to hold on, get as much gold as he can, as there's a fight from behind as well. One peasant, sorceress, mana burn, breath of fire, coming back the other ways. Mortar team trying to get in those lob attacks, trying to maximize damage on that Tree of Life. Meanwhile, down here on the southern side, the Glaivethrowers still pushing pressure, pushing down, pushing across a lot of damage, as the peasants are now surrounding this Tree of Life here, attempting to take it down. 521 gold, so these peasants should be able to quickly build up a town hall if necessary. And after building up that town hall, we'll need to build a lot of farms as well, as all of these farms are slowly getting destroyed, and Yumiko may end up being supply blocked. That is going to be a major setback if he is supply blocked, and some of these peasants are lost. All right, Archmage, no, Dark Ranger going to pick up a Tome of Intelligence. Archmage trying to move around again, back to the south side here. We're looking at damage pushing through. Tree of Life here on the southern side by gens. So both sides are going to be up and operational on one base, as we now see level 5 on the Demon Hunter, and the Brewmaster perhaps could get up to level 4. So 5-4 potentially, especially if the Demon Hunter can back away enough to give all of the experience to the Brewmaster. Brewmaster now down, well, only needs, what, 60, got enough experience there, and picks up healing wards as well. 55 supply over 24, speed building here, and now, well, after so long, we are finally kind of reset, as the Moonwells are suffering a bit of damage from the summons. So Yumiko bringing summons to the battle, and to take down some of these Moonwells, and, well, take out Moonwells quickly. Gens does have full saturation on this gold mine here. This, well, Town Hall now completed. 5 out of 5 maximum gold mine mining. Right now sitting at 55 over 12 supply, needing to build, well, farms in order to protect. Meanwhile, the Brewmaster is still on a one-man mission to get to level 5 by himself. Level 5 would be level 3 Breath of Fire, and that could spell the difference if you're able to Drunken Haze Breath of Fire and cause large amounts of damage. that could be enough. 49 supply compared to 55. Gens, well, does need to perhaps revisit some of these moonwells. Ancient Protector can probably protect off over here. There's some more moonwells being placed all across the map, and it is nightfall here on Terranistan, giving a little bit of bonus regeneration. All right. We're going to see a little bit of break in the action now. Arcane Tower perhaps going to get constructed. More moonwells being built off to the south. And what an unorthodox opening from all of these players. As well, no, this is all scout towers. There's not a single farm here. So right now, Yumiko is not building any farms whatsoever. He is just trying to rebuild and get a decent economy going, and allowing himself to walk away from this base here. We see a lot of lumber kind of well, just sitting in the bank right now. That's going to work out well. All of these arcane towers are going to upgrade. And with these arcane towers finally upgraded, perhaps they'll be... Oh, Demon Hunter tries to test the waters. There is a Hippogriff gain with sight, knowing everything that's happening here. But as these arcane towers are upgraded one by one, the Demon Hunter is not going to be able to easily push out across. The downside for Yumiko is that he is currently in low upkeep, so it is 7 gold a second versus 10 gold a second by gens right now. All right. So, gens, better economy. Yumiko, slightly better army. Gens, better heroes. Level 5 on the Demon Hunter and Brewmaster going up against dual level 4 heroes. Brewmaster could place down a Drunken Haze, Breath of Fire, rack up lots of damage, but there is plenty of Priest here as well. As we're looking at the Archmage, well, Jennings... well, that was a Scroll of Town Portal. All right, so a Scroll of Town Portal to get into that spot. Perhaps the Archmage was hoping to pick up another item, maybe a Staff of Teleportation, but the Teleportation Staff would have not left him invulnerable, and that could have spelled disastrous. All right, Goblin Zeppelin trying to drop in. Needs to get picked back up here, and now pulled away. Demon Hunter diving into this spot. Army coming back around the other side again, and the Goblin Zeppelin is going to end up staying alive. There's a Breath of Fire, and, well, all of the mana on the Demon Hunter has been drained out. We are looking at another expansion being, or another base trying to be set up by gens here. Hunter's Hall being spread across the map, selling of some items. And, well, Demon Hunter once more going to be on the move. This one Tree of Life about to get going to get pressured here very quickly. I don't see a Scroll of Town Portal. Dark Ranger could be in trouble. And now are we going to see enough damage here? Perhaps Drunken Haze, Breath of Fire to try and blow over. Arcane Tower quickly refocusing onto the Brewmaster, as now the Demon Hunter could be in a little bit of trouble. Glaivethrower is trying to take down some of these. Goblin Sapper is going to come across. Are they going to actually well, split the damage? There's one, there's two. All of those are now lost, and I believe this may be the final building for Yumiko. Yumiko may actually get knocked out completely by Building Death. All right, Building Death here, and we're looking at the Dark Ranger trying to go after that Huntress, but a Healing Ward now placed down as we see Drain Life coming back around here. All right, Scroll of Town Portal, Archmage able to come back with the army to stay alive, and now trying to rebuild a Tree of Life, as this Tree of Life needs 5 more seconds. Wisp is going to get transferred over there again. 49 supply over 70, and trying to just get a little bit more out of all of these units. Yumiko quickly replenishing all of these buildings, acting as a buffer, as a defense here. Meanwhile, Panda gonna visit these moonwells, get a lot of mana and hit points. There you are, back up to, well, 400 mana, and now Staff of Teleportation, perhaps inbound again. Remember, these arcane towers are not operational yet, so there's going to be a small window of opportunity where the Brewmaster can huff and puff and perhaps blow the guard towers down without suffering too much mana loss. There's that healing ward right there. Dryad's perhaps going to try and push here. Brewmaster, well, the window of opportunity is closing, 15 seconds, and, well, those towers are going to get up and operational again. Gens purposely staying at low upkeep. 35 minutes into this game. Arcane Tower. Making our way back off to the north now. Archmage gonna get a mana burn on that, or gonna get mana burned. Demon Hunter trying to push back again. 35-minute game. One base here. Panda, is he gonna get a Drunken Haze Breath of Fire? There is, well, there's that there. No Drunken Haze, no Breath of Fire. Actually, a little bit surprised that we're not seeing this. Demon Hunter is, or yeah, come on, Drunken Haze, Breath of Fire. That's gonna blow over quite a bit of damage, trying to dispel all of that damage. This is the level 3 variety. Those priests nearly blown over as the Glaivethrowers are gonna try and put pressure on that backside. Dark Ranger in the back, Scroll of Healing used, trying to stay alive. Drunken Haze, Breath of Fire, perhaps. Dark Ranger trying to siphon life, trying to stay alive here. Are we going to see another Breath of Fire? There's a lot of healing going on. That Dark Ranger, there's another Scroll of Healing. There's a Breath of Fire, and the Dark Ranger stays alive barely. Meanwhile, the Glaivethrowers are in the back. More siphon life on that Dark Ranger. Dark Ranger holding steady. No, not going to be enough. Dark Ranger falls at level 5. There's another Breath of Fire, and more things that damage over time. Going to finish off another Mortar team there. 32 supply compared to 32. And now with this, what is going to happen? Breath of Fire trying to blow over some of those buildings there. Goblin Zeppelin picking up that Glaive Thrower, and the units are now perhaps going to try and retreat back. No, what is this? Goblin Shredder and a Goblin Sapper joining in on the battle again. All right, so Goblin Shredder, Goblin Sapper, waiting for full saturation into this gold mine, entangling that gold mine. We already have full saturation here, and Archmage, all of these units are now making their way back over. Panda trying to push through. You can see Glaivethrower is trying to push in that damage. Goblin Sapper is getting up the other towers on the other side. Goblin Shredder hired from the Goblin Laboratory, and he's going to be offering some big damage to take down some of these buildings as well. There's just not enough buildings, not enough hit points. 28 supply army compared to 35. Footmen and the Tree of Ages also doing some damage across here, as we are looking at nearly full saturation by gens on this southern side as well. There's a bunch of Moonwells off on the southern portion here. Ancients of Lore trying to be rebuilt, and I believe Yumiko will be tapping out after this 37-minute marathon of a game, especially after that initial sprint of a tower rush. Yumiko doesn't have any buildings left, does have workers, but where are all the workers? No, I don't believe he has any more workers. These are all off to the north here. Dark Ranger back out onto the battlefield. I don't see any peasants here. Yeah, I think that's going to be it here. The Tree of Ages still fighting back. You can see that there is still mining going on here, and Yumiko has in fact left the game. A knockout was most likely inevitable at this point. Let me know what you guys thought about this game in the comments below.